What's going on, guys? Orochi here, and this video today is my destroyer variation guide for the Terminator. Now this is a follow-up to the introduction guide, so make sure to check that out first if you haven't already. Some of the things I talk about there, they're gonna apply here. I am gonna go over some of the more important normals and strategies to use along with this variation, so I am gonna do a little bit of a recap, that way you're not lost completely. Now, I've been using this variation since release, and I've had a lot of fun and success with it. It did take me some time to get used to his short normals, but once I got the hang of it, I had a lot of fun playing the Terminator. I recommend this variation first before the others if you're just picking up the character or just the game in general. I feel like it's the most straightforward variation, and it's good to learn his neutral before you move up to the setup or the command grab variation. So this variation is all about the mix-ups. Besides your overhead and low normals, you also get an overhead and low special moves. They're actually pretty good special moves. They have decent range, decent startup. It also comes with a air grab that extend combos, and it gives him really good damage. So I say this variation is probably his second best after Dark Fate, but it's still early, and I might change my mind once I start playing Final Judgment. Alright, so let's start off with the special moves he gains in this variation. So he gains Infiltrator Toss, which is this anti-air grab. Uh, it also works to extend combos, which gives him really good damage. Uh, 36% for one bar. Pretty good, right? It also has a ladder range, so see how far they are. I mean, it's got pretty good range. Really good anti-air. It's 8 frames. And if you mess it up like I did, you sometimes get the down 2, which is another good anti-air. Cyber Rift, which is a low projectile that is 22 frames. It's unsafe on block. So if you do it like pretty close at this range, you're gonna get punished. So use wisely. But if you're playing Footises, Terminator doesn't have a lot of range on his attacks. This would be a good tool to use. If you're kind of backing off a little bit, you can use this when they're trying to come in, and that'll start they'll want to start to jump, and that's where you grab them out of the air. And the launch is a leap move. It's an overhead, and it's 28 frames, and you can close this to you can use this to close the gap. So you can see how far it travels. You can do a close one, medium range, and then a far one. The far one is not full screen, so be careful. You kind of wanna dash and then do it, something like that. For grounded combos like 1-1, you can do a close one, and you'll get unbreakable damage. That's all unbreakable, 21%. So he's got really good special moves in this variation, and I think they got good range. So yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff that I talked about in the introduction video, and I feel that's pretty important to go over them. Uh, the Terminator is all about the plus frames, hit confirm and normal, so it's really important to get those down. Uh, really important is down 1, 6 frames is plus 12 on hit. Turn on the frame data here. So 12 frames, you can jail this. You can also go for this. You're trying to get plus frames. So it's really part of important of his game plan. Obviously, you have the tick grab as well. If they're really good at if they're blocking a lot and they're gonna block, go for the tick grab. And if you play someone that likes to poke a lot, then you can poke them out, and then you can hit confirm them, and then go into your shotgun, which we're gonna talk about more in a second. I also want to mention that some characters that have slow mids, you can abuse this. Um, Obviously, you don't want to do it too much because you know you're gonna get punished. But on a read, you can do double down one, which is the second one. Your block would be 10 frames, so you can double check them. And then if the second one hits, you go for your your gel attacks. Uh, F4 is plus 18 on hit, so you go straight into your 50-50, which is forward 2 or forward 3. So if you get this on hit, go for your 50-50. Of course, you gotta be fast. You gotta be quick on your reaction. If they block, you go for a poke, or you just block. You can also cancel it, and you got your mix up. Now this is in. You can't interrupt this. So these gels right here. Let me see if I can show you that real quick. See, I try to poke. So that's something that you can use as well. Now, really important to talk about is one of the best things that the Terminator has is his standing reset mid-screen. And what that is his shotgun. Amplified is plus 16 on hit. That's really good because you can do something like that after your hit confirmed. That's almost 20% damage, 90%, unbreakable damage, and you get a free mix-up. So that's a really good way to use your meter. So what happens here is you get a overhead or a low mix-up. Now, if you're frame perfect, the overhead is gonna catch them, and it'll catch them jumping away because they don't have a lot of time to jump. So if they try to jump away, you can do that. Do a combo. You can also go for the low. You can go for the full screen if they're respecting your overhead. You can go for the grab. The overhead grab as well. So you can do a lot of things. And usually they want to block low because this does a lot of damage. And usually they're gonna break as soon as they see that it hits. They're gonna break. So usually you want to start with the overhead, and then once the opponent catches on, you start mixing them up. Usually, you just gotta be unpredictable. You gotta read your opponent basically, and they have to guess. It's a guess. Now they can jump away from this, but it's still gonna hit them. What's gonna happen is it's gonna hit them out of the air, and you're gonna get a knockdown. You're not gonna get the bounce. So you're just gonna get a knockdown basically. You can also go for this, but that's riskier. You might as well just go for this. Now you can also get the mix-up, which is forward 3 into the rift, which is a low and a low. And that'll catch people off guard because obviously they're looking for the follow-up, which is the overhead. Now also, you get a fatal blow, and this is a really good comeback factor right here. So you can go for something like this, and then you have a 50-50. And they have to guess pretty much. I mean, you guarantee it. Even if they jump, it's gonna catch them, and it's unbreakable, and they have to guess. So they're in a situation where that even if they jump, it's gonna get them, right? So that's pretty good. So that's why I think that's a big part of his game plan, this variation. And that's your comeback factor right there. In the corner, you want to save your meter because you're going to be pretty close and you're going to be plus 13 on hit. So you want to use your meter for high damage. So instead of using a meter, we can use it for this. Just a simple side switch. So you get 36% and whatever this was, 144. So that's a lot of damage. That's 50%. If my math is right. So practice it a lot. Make sure you get this mix-up down, and you want to get the timing down. So, because if you're late, of course, it's gonna poke out. So you want to get the timing down of it. Let's see what else we got. D4. uh, it's gonna be our main footsie tool right here. This, this is it right here. I mean, dash down 4, down 4, and then you can dash this. Uh, Now this is another gimmick right here. Uh, Down 4 into cyber is a double low, and online is hard to react to it because of the delay. So you're gonna get a lot of people with that. Keep in mind that it's punishable. Some characters can punish it with long normals. So, like Johnny Cage, he'll be able to punish that. Once your opponent catches up that you're using D4 a lot, down 4, they're gonna try to jump, and you know that's where you go for your anti-airs. Um, let's see. Now in this variation we have this, which is a double overhead, and it's a gimmick basically. Uh, Usually they'll try to duck it or duck block so they don't get grabbed. But if they're catching up to that, they can poke you out of it. I mean, there's a gap right there. So just be careful with that. Let's see what else we have. Oh yeah, in the corner you can do shotgun right that, and if you go for another 1-2-1 or so you can do this, and you can just keep going, and they have to block eventually. I mean, you can hit confirm it, right, if they block or not, so you can just keep going like this. And if you have an opponent that tries to mash or tries to jump or do anything, you're just gonna keep looping that like that, and they're gonna get punished hard. Now on wake up, I said in my previous video that I use this a lot. Once they use their meter, you can start going for the mix-ups, right? Because you're less scared of op 3 or a roll, and then they can punish that. Once they use their meter on breaking out, you can start going for your mix-up like this, and they pretty much have to guess. Another thing you can do is you can just keep walking forward and then do a back 3-1, and that's gonna, if they try to do anything, that's probably gonna hit them after, if they try to wake up down 1 or whatever. Now I did want to talk about his down 3 because it's a pretty good anti-air. So let's say they to record jump and see how good that is. Just it's just a crazy anti-air right there. Depending on the range, you might not be able to get him. So if you're close, you can do a back 3-1. You gotta be pretty fast. I need to do a micro dash. And just an example combo right there. If you're far, or you just want to go for the easy combo, you can do 1-2-1. And that's your combo as well. There you go. And I do want to show you some of the crushing blows with sawed off. Let's see here. Let me chill out a little. Because the crushing blow, one thing to mention about it is that, your hits gotta miss twice, and then if you shoot another time and they block it, you lose your crushing blow. So once they duck twice, you gotta keep that in your head, that it missed twice, so you have it loaded, right? So that's when you can start going in or do some other stuff. Now some of the combos that you can use, and I actually recorded them because one of them is pretty tough on females. So without meter, you can go for something like that. This one is the normal one with 1 meter, and that one's I had a little bit of trouble doing that one on female, so just keep that in mind, that your execution's gotta be on point, or at least better than mine. You can also do it off a crushing blow. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. It's pretty good damage right there. And you can also do it, unbreakable damage. So something like this, if you have it loaded, bam, 30% unbreakable. So that's just some of the applications that we can use for the crushing blow. But yeah, I think this is a cool variation to play. Uh, if you're just starting to play the game or the Terminator in general, I think this is one of the easier variations to learn. Though the ones are a little bit more advanced with the run cancels and whatnot, and final judgment with all the setups. So this is it for this variation. It does have some of the higher damage, and I think it's the easiest to play. Had a lot of fun playing this one, so if you're thinking of picking it up, I think you won't be disappointed. Now I'm gonna leave some gameplay footage of me using the variation in Combat League. Let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Next I want to follow up with the Dark Fate guide, so you can expect that in the next couple of days. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.
Get over here. Accept termination. Round 2. Fight! Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight. You won't live. Final round. Fight! Round 2. Fight! Final round. Fight! Finish him! One. Fight!
Get over here.
Round 2. Fight! Final round. Fight! Fight.
Disgraceful.
You won't be back.
The Terminator wins.